Hi guys, in this video we will be creating a BMI calculator application in Flutter. So as you can see, I had created a simple Flutter application using Flutter create command, and this is the starting code that we get by running that command. So this application is running in that virtual Android application. So first what I will do, I will create a simple home page, and here I will create a stateful widget. I will name it as home page. Okay. So we'll go back into that main.dart file and remove the unwanted code that we don't need. So I'll remove this my home page and this comments. So here the home will be directed toward home page that we had created recently. Okay, so this thing is done. Then in home page, what we will do, we will create a simple scaffold widget, and which will have an app bar. It will have a title of, let's name it to BMI calculator, and the background color will be, okay. Let's try to reload the application to see whether our changes are rendered or not. Okay, you can see that the BMI calculator has appeared here. So the app bar is done. We need to create a body. So for body, I will use center widget because it will place all the content in the center of screen. We don't need to use padding or margin for centering the components. The center widget will do all the work for us. It will have a child of padding component, and let's add a padding as edge inserts dot symmetric. For horizontal it will be 16. Okay, so I had added padding. Then we need to pass a child. So child will be column because we need to add all the components one after another in a one below the another. So first there will be text field for taking input of height, then of weight, then there will be a button below that, and below button the result will be displayed. So add a column, and the main axis alignment. So the main axis alignment will be of center. All the components will be placed center in the center. Okay, and it will have a children. So let's create one by one. So before creating children, we know that we need to input fields for weight and for height. So we will create controllers for that text fields. So we'll use text editing controller. One will be weight controller, and another will be height controller. Okay, the text editing controller are created, and we need to store the result into a variable. So we will create another variable for storing the results, which will be BMI results, something like that. I will assign it to 0 because initially we had not calculated anything. So we will assign it to 0. Then inside column we'll create text fields. So text fields will have a controller. So first one we'll add for weight, then its keyboard type. It will have a keyboard type of number. So of number. Then we'll add a decoration. We'll have input decoration where the label text will be, let's name it to weight, and it will be in kg, kilogram. Okay, so we had added for the weight. Then after the text field, we will create a simple sized box because we need to add a margin. It will look better, and the height will be 20. And the same text field we will copy from here and paste it, but this time we will use it for height, and instead of weight, height will be in meter. Let's try to reload the application to check how it's look. So weight and height have been rendered. So this thing is done. Then we need to create a button, and on clicking that button, the result should be displayed. So below the text field, I will create a sized box again for adding some margin. It will have a height of 20. Then there will be a button. Let's give it as elevated button. On press, we will write it afterwards. So it will have a child, and child will be text, which will say calculate. Okay, let's try to reload the application. Okay, calculator button is appeared. Then after this, we need to create another component where the result will be displayed. But before that, we will create a function which will calculate the BMI. So here it created a calculate BMI function. So in that function, first we will check whether the user had uh, given a value or not, inputted a value or not. So for that we will use if condition, and here I will check whether this controller has some values or not. So use is not empty, and same for height controller. Is not empty checks whether these controllers have value or not. So if both have values, then we will calculate the BMI. For that I will use set state because we are changing the state of variable, and I'll create two variables. One is weight, which will be double value of that weight controller, because this weight controllers contains the value in form of text. We need to pass it to double, or else we will not be able to use the arithmetic operations. Same for the height controller dot text, and then we will assign the BMI result to it. Have a simple formula, weight divided by it into height. Okay, so BMI result is calculated, and also we need to display the category to which category it belongs. So I will create another function which will return the category based on this BMI result value. Uh, let's name it to give category. So it will be of return type, and again if I make it as string, then it will directly return a string, and that I can use it in the text component. So for that I had a code here which I will paste. Okay, so it will calculate the category according to this BMI result variable. So most of the things are done. So we need to create components for displaying the result. below this button, and I will give the value of this function here, which is calculate BMI, and on pressing this button the BMI will be calculated, or that function will be triggered. So here again I will create a size box which will have a height of, let's say, 20. Then I will use a ternary operation here, which will check whether the BMI result is greater than 0.0. It means that BMI result is calculated, and if it is greater than 0.0, then I am going to display container. So it will have width of double dot infinity, and it will have a padding of 10. Then let's give some decoration. It will have a box decoration where pass the color, and it will be again theme of context dot primary color, but this time we will use some opacity to make it look better. Opacity will be 0.3, and the corners will be little bit circular to make it look better. It will have a border radius dot circular, and let's pass the value as 10. So again, this container will have a child of column because we need to display the result one after another. So first one will be the BMI index, and next one will be the category. So it will have a column, and the column will have children's. So first one will be text. It will say result, and then there will be a sized box of height, let's say 10. Then again a text field where we are going to show the BMI result. So I will use BMI result variable and convert it to string. Let's add some style, text style, font size, let's assign it to 35. Okay, so same thing I will copy again, is both the lines, size box and the text field, and I will paste it here. So now instead of this BMI result variable, I will use that function which returns the category, which is the given category. Okay, it will directly return a string which will be used here. And if the result is not calculated, then we don't need to show this container. For else condition, we will use normal sized box. Okay, again we will use a sized box which will have a height of 20. And the last thing we need to add is that clear button. So same condition we will check if BMI result is calculated, then only we need to display that clear button. So in this button, after clicking the clear button, what we are going to do, we are going to clear these controller values, and the BMI result would be set to 0.0. But as we are changing the state of variables here, so we need to wrap it inside set state. So it will have a child of text which will say clear. Set format. Okay. And if the clear button is not, then we will return a sized box. Start of format. Okay. The code is formatted properly. So everything is done. Let's try to reload the application and check whether it is working or not. So I will enter the weight as 50 and height will be as it is in meters, so 1.7. And if I click on calculate, okay, so the value is getting displayed much bigger. The results are getting calculated, but value is not, value is getting too much big. So inside this toString, what I will do, the string as fixed and pass values to, okay, so it will return the value up to 2 decimals. If I pass 3, then it will return the value up to 3 decimals. So in this way, our BMI calculator is implemented. I will drop the GitHub link for this project into the comment section. So in this way, we had implemented the BMI calculator in Flutter.